Today is gold prospecting day. We're going to be gold prospecting in Maryland, which most people don't know about this, but there was a lot of gold mines in Maryland, like 40, 45 of them. So, let's do it. Always got to be careful. Plus, you got to keep an eye out for snakes. There's two different types of vipers in this area. It's the timber rattlesnake and the eastern copperhead. So I always try to wear the heavy boots. I've got snake guards too, but I didn't wear them today. I don't know, I got a feeling that we're gonna find some gold today. I feel lucky. Temperature's about 39 degrees right now, but it's gonna warm up to 50, which is just perfect. The first thing we're gonna do is prospect. We can't mine for gold until we find it. And in order to find it, we have to prospect for the gold in the most likely places. I don't know if you can see it, but it is a little tiny speck. After you've identified where the gold is, then you can start mining. What I do is I just start digging in and then I classify it. I've got a classifier in the bucket that will pretty much take out anything over a 1/4 inch. If it's less than a 1/4 inch, it'll go into the bucket because the sluice works best with a 1/4 inch or less. The next step is to run the classified material through the sluice. What that's going to do is take all the lighter material and sort of just push it back into the stream, leaving the heavier materials behind. It's the heavy materials that you want because that's where gold falls. Two of the bucks were giving me the hairy eyeball. I think I may have been standing in the part of the creek that belongs to them. Well, tough. You need to keep an eye on your sluice because when it fills up with too much black sand and other stuff, it's going to stop working as well. So when it does, just pull it out and clean it and then put it back. I was looking for a new spot to dig for gold, and I wasn't paying attention, and my rubber boots filled up with water, ice cold water. I know, I should have worn the other ones, you know, they go all the way up to your waist, but I did not. So I just had to deal with it. And I know that anyone who's gone, you know, prospecting before has done this. If you say you haven't, then you've lied. But hey, you know, it's a good wake-up call. So I was digging in a new hole. I picked this one because if you look at the flooding, you can see how the grass was pushed down right here. It means that the water was really flowing. And then there was like a hole here that sort of goes off back into the creek again. Oh, it popped out of it. Yeah, right there. Nice little guy. I filled up a bucket from that hole over there and cleaned out the sluice. So let's take a look at it and see if anything comes up. Here's the concentrates. That's the results of all the sluicing. And they've got to get all that other white sand and junk out of it before we can even get to the gold. That's next stop. Our next stop is going to be back to the house where we're going to further concentrate. Well, we're going to further classify the concentrates and get the gold out of it. Go. Time for the trek back. Always uphill. Now that I'm home, I'm going to take the concentrates that we got today and I'm going to classify them even further. Each one of those green holes up ahead has got increasingly smaller and smaller and smaller holes. So that at the very bottom, we're going to have almost a sludge. It's going to be so fine.
When the concentrates are the same size, it's much easier to extract the gold. So if you think about it, gold is really heavy, and if it's up against a rock of the same size, guess what's going to win? The gold. So if you're panning or sluicing, micro sluicing, then it's always going to be the gold that stays down and everything else is going to float away. That's why we want it the same size.
Several classifications, going from roughest all the way to finest. So our next step in the process is to run it through the mini sluice, and we're going to use this for the finest materials. So let's get the bubbles out. So I put in about 3 tablespoons, and you can see there's already some gold starting to show up in the riffles. Remember, that's the indicator side of it. It's these little riffles down here that are going to catch the rest of it. Halfway through the real fine one, let's see where we're at. Cool. Now it's time to move on to the next size. So I've ran through the next size. Let's see what we got. There's a few in there.